On a gloomy, rain-soaked evening, law student Jin Hong walks home from class. Across the street, he spots his mother. Just as he's about to cross, his phone rings. It's his friend. He slows down to answer. Unaware, he misses the oncoming motorcycle speeding toward his mother. The rider grabs her bag in an attempted theft. She fights back and is dragged violently across the street. The thief loses balance and crashes. Infuriated, he draws a knife. He stabs her repeatedly before fleeing. A bystander picks up the dropped weapon, but by the time Jin Hong notices, his mother lies lifeless. He runs to her and cries out, too late to save her. Her funeral follows. The loss leaves a deep scar on Jin Hong's younger sister. 7 years pass. Jin Hong is now a prosecutor. His name is synonymous with integrity and relentless pursuit of justice. But his ruthless approach rubs some colleagues the wrong way. After a trial, he notices multiple missed calls from his sister. He finally reaches her. What she says stops him cold. Their mother has returned. Alive, sitting next to her, watching TV. On the drive home, Jin Hong suspects his sister's medication might be failing again. But when he gets there, his mother is actually there, smiling, alive, cooking like nothing happened. Soon, a local pastor and his congregation show up, claiming word of a miracle has spread. They pray and ask her if she met God. What did he look like? Jin Hong reminds them that she had died. Suddenly, she turns and lunges at him with a knife. The pastor throws himself in the way and is stabbed instead. The others restrain her as she thrashes and destroys everything in sight. They eventually subdue her and medics rush her to a psychiatric clinic. Moments later, police and government agents arrive. Jin Hong is pulled into a high-level briefing. What he hears is chilling. Across the globe, victims of unsolved murders are coming back from the dead. They remember how they died and then seek revenge on those who escaped justice. Once vengeance is served, their bodies vanish in flames. These beings are now known as Resurrected. Jin Hong's mother is Korea's first case. But why would she attack him? Authorities now suspect he might have orchestrated her death. Enter Lee Soo, a brilliant forensic psychologist arriving from overseas. Jin Hong, however, refuses to give up control of the case. During her review, Lee Soo learns he's been obsessed with his mother's case for years. He personally requested and kept all files, and has conducted his own parallel investigation. This makes the agents even more suspicious. Jin Hong insists the case never made sense. The CCTV footage showed only one attacker, but another witness described two. The second man didn't match the suspect the police arrested. Jin Hong also traced the motorcycle to a known Chinese criminal, one with a heavy accent and history of bike theft. But after 45 days, a body was found in a river. The DNA matched. Authorities closed the case, concluding the killer had drowned, but the dead man wasn't Chinese. Jin Hong contacted Interpol and began tracking anyone who returned to China around that time. There was another complication. He had received a massive payout from his mother's life insurance. This raised serious questions. Did he stage it all? Lee Soo suspects he took the files to bury incriminating evidence. She demands a list of witnesses and phone records from that day. Meanwhile, Jin Hong reflects on his relationship with his mother, how she always greeted him warmly and cooked his favorite meals. He remembers constantly asking for money during law school and how she always found a way to help, and how, on that fateful day, he had been distracted by a pointless call, just long enough to be too late. He later talks to his sister. She reveals plans to take their mother to Thailand for treatment. In private, she tells her husband that their mother used to appear in her dreams, asking her to protect her belongings. She always said she'd come back, and now she has. Meanwhile, Jin Hong and an intelligence officer visit his comatose mother. No brain activity, no physical response. She's practically a corpse again. The agent suggests these resurrections may be divine justice, God's way of correcting human failure. But they must keep it quiet, or mass hysteria will follow. Jin Hong disagrees. There are already viral videos all over the internet. The officer reminds him that people don't believe UFOs either, despite endless footage. Jin Hong then proposes a different theory. Maybe his mother didn't kill him because he's not the one responsible. That means the real killer is still out there. Lee Soo arrives at the home of Jin Hong's sister, accompanied by her assistant. The sister recounts their harsh upbringing, how their father passed away in their youth. and their mother had to take on grueling trucking jobs just to feed them. Jin Hong, in his younger days, was reckless, frequenting nightclubs while relying on their mother's financial support. The sister also shares that government agents have already searched their home and confiscated any evidence tied to their mother. Elsewhere, Jin Hong and an investigator follow a lead to Chinatown. They're tracking a fugitive who fled to China 7 years ago. The prosecutor bribes an informant for the man's location. Upon learning this, Li Su orders her team to place the prosecutor under surveillance. Jin Hong goes to the suspect's residence and deceives him into opening the door. A struggle ensues, but when the man realizes he's losing, he bolts. Just as the fugitive is nearly out of reach, Li Su's team intercepts and captures him. As Jin Hong walks out of an alley, he locks eyes with a strange little girl who seems unaffected by the rain, silently watching him. Back at headquarters, intelligence agents reveal chilling new insights. Those who come back from the dead tend to exact revenge near their place of death. They manifest during storms, as their bodies are composed mostly of water and contain high iron levels. When vengeance is fulfilled, a magnetic disturbance erupts, and they spontaneously combust. Yet, in the Korean case, the resurrected woman hasn't avenged her death, an anomaly. They attempt to question Jin Hong's mother. She reveals that while her son didn't directly kill her, his actions led to her death. Then, she speaks a man's name. Meanwhile, Jin Hong confirms the DNA of the man he arrested matches what was found on his mother's hands. The suspect, now in custody, refuses to admit guilt. Authorities find out the man is also wanted in China for double homicide and faces the death penalty if deported. In Korea, his sentence would take decades to fulfill. As Li Su is informed of a second life insurance policy taken out in the mother's name, Jin Hong takes over the questioning. He learns that on the very day the policy became active, a fatal car crash killed a man and his daughter, right in their neighborhood. The suspect finally admits that someone else was at the scene of the crime, a stranger who continued attacking the woman long after he stopped. Before he can explain further, agents storm in and whisk him away. The secondary attacker is still at large, and the autopsy reports were manipulated. Li Su uncovers that Jin Hong's mother secretly initiated the insurance policy herself and instructed the agent not to inform her son. The forensic examiner from the original case moved to the US years ago. Li Su starts to suspect a link between that mysterious accident and the mother's death. Around the globe, witnesses describe seeing revived individuals bursting into flames. Back in the hospital, the detained suspect is brought to the comatose mother. She awakens as machines fail, calmly walks to him, and in one swift motion, breaks his neck, then collapses. Flashback, 7 years earlier. The forensic expert and a cop discreetly dumped the suspect's corpse into a river to make it look like suicide. Present-day Jin Hong confronts the expert, but he refuses to reopen the case. Li Su shows Jin Hong's sister a photo of a young girl who died 9 years ago. Their mother had secretly donated her life insurance payout to the girl's father, who also perished in that same car accident. Surveillance footage surfaces, identifying that same man as the one who delivered the final blow to Jin Hong's mother. He, too, had returned from death to avenge his own. She had caused the accident that killed the man and his daughter. For unknown reasons, she even moved one of the bodies afterward. Her revenge against the Chinese man was already done. Now, she was likely preparing to vanish too. Jin Hong is told that they've identified the police officer on duty the night of the fatal crash. He had resigned soon after. Li Su locates him. Too late. He's left behind a suicide note and his body. She hands the letter to Jin Hong and confesses that part of her had suspected him. He had paused at the intersection that fateful night, as though he knew something would happen. In the note, the officer reveals that 9 years ago, he responded to a domestic dispute. The father was drunk, the child scared. Overwhelmed, he left. Later, Jin Hong's mother bribed him, asking him to cover for her and report a stolen truck. He agreed. The girl's body was found the next day. Guilt consumed him, and he eventually took his life, naming Jin Hong as responsible. Jin Hong, confused, calls his sister. She admits even the police suspect she and their mother may have killed someone, but she can't remember. A friend tells him he was blacked out drunk that night. Memories return. He stumbled outside and saw a vendor's truck. The vendor had insulted his mother earlier. In the present, he sees the dead girl again boarding a bus. His mother is wheeled into the rain but doesn't vanish. Suddenly, lights burst. She walks away. Jin-hong follows. He crashes his car and finds another truck to continue the pursuit. The memories flood in. He drove the vendor's truck drunk, crashed into a police droid. Later, his mother found the girl's body inside. As she tried to return the truck, the father appeared. She fled, hitting his motorbike and killing him. To protect Jin-hong, she paid off the officer. Back in the moment, he crashes again. Trapped under the overturned truck, the girl approaches, lights a match near the leaking fuel. Before the flames ignite, his mother screams and intervenes, begging for her son's life and blaming herself. She smashes her head to the ground in desperation. Jin-hong escapes and pleads with the girl for forgiveness, standing in front of a truck, ready to die. But she bursts into flames instead. The truck explodes, throwing him aside. Through the fire, he sees his mother's body engulfed. Later, Jin-hong stands trial. He pleads guilty to the girl's death, refusing to appeal. He accepts responsibility for his mother's demise too, because he didn't listen to her warnings. Lee Soo and the intelligence agent reflect on everything. This time, the dead didn't return to punish but to forgive. RV, Resurrected Victims 2017 is a unique blend of supernatural thriller and mystery. Rooted in the chilling concept of the dead returning to punish their murderers, the film explores themes of justice, guilt, and redemption through the lens of Korea's RVP Resurrected Victims phenomenon. With an intriguing premise and a tense atmosphere, it raises moral questions about vengeance versus legal justice. While the pacing can be uneven, the film delivers a gripping narrative that keeps viewers questioning who the real villains are.